Lady Constance Seymour-Pelew had never been to Longton, be fair. And as I got out of this big weight Jaguar by the Owd bus station, I decided as I didn't particularly want to come again. I got a student down to just say as had been doing a project on potteries, and had arranged me to. Well, Lady Constance stood there waiting, and it was what you'd call an impressive figure. I was fat. I got 3 chins, a big floppy hat with ostrich feathers in it, and in her arms I got a Pekingese dog with asthma. Well, just at this particular time, Owd Grandad Piggott was trudging up the strand on his road to the Owd hut. I was skint, Owd Grandad was. Well, I'd just fetched his pension, paid a fine with it. I go by 4 bob, let's say. Now, if Lady Constance hadn't have stepped off the curb, I might never have met Owd Grandad Piggott. Because remember these Owd high heel shoes, you swear? I got a pair of these on, say. And the heel went down the grid. Easy solved, you might think. But when they'd 16 stone, and tied up for about 13 stone, tinna see as you bend down, say. Oh, blast, Lady Constance says. Then I spotted Owd Grandad. I didn't particularly like cut on him, but I was the only one at hand just at that time. Owd Grandad had stopped, and I was grinning at Lady Constance. Hey, my man, come here. So Owd Grandad sidled over and I spat in the grid. It missed Lady Constance's shoe by about half an inch. Get my shoe out of this grid. Owd Grandad says, Missus, get knotted. I demand that you help me. Owd Grandad says, I don't reckon as late in a position demand out of it, I says, there's an old lot as lives down that grid and it's got bloody teeth on it like wood chairs. I says, what's it worth? Get the height. Lady Constance stuck down that grid probably meant as though Tuck could spend half an hour in the bokies with a bit of luck. I'll give you 5 shillings. No good. 5 shillings, not enough. Listen, Missus, I says, I know the arse out. If I was stuck down a bloody grid, they was to help me. I says, when you day, the name will be in the paper with a 5-figure will aside on it. I says, when I go, I was all leaves a gas bill and my name on a lavatory wire. I says, when I'm dead, they'll chuck me up that's bunk. And everybody in the street will have a party. I says, it's going to cost like 10 quid go out to that grid, Missus. Well, Lady Constance went a dark shade of purple. And next thing, the Owd Pig had an asthma attack. Owd Grandad Piggott had got trump card, and both on them knew it. So Lady Constance fumbled in a bag, ripped 2 fivers off a roll and get him in. So I stuffed him in his behind pocket. I says, right, stop there a minute. I'm going to borrow a crowbar out of that shop. Lady Constance had no choice but stop there. So he comes back with this crowbar and an hammer. I says, right, out still, I'll be out in a minute. And he starts jabbing away at this heel trying to dislodge it. Then he got down on his hands and knees and tried to dislodge it with his fingers. But that's when this pig took an hand in it. It had made its mind up from the start as Owd Grandad Piggott was a bad lot. And it had decided now as I was trying to attack its mistress. So it started yapping and struggling. Oh, Wong Pao, do keep still. But Wong Pao wouldn't have kept still. It struggled out to Lady Constance's arms and dropped on Owd Grandad's shoulder. Then it sunk his teeth in his left ear. Well, Owd Grandad let out a yell as they had all Longton. And I held her a cussing blue murder. But this pig wouldn't let go. It hung on to Owd Grandad's ear and it mauled it and shook it like as if it was a rot. I let out at it then with this hammer. What I did was succeed in splitting the flagstone. Growled him over then, this pig did, and it was growling and snarling like hell. Then it dragged his ear into the gutter, so I had to go with it. Lady Constance says, you've upset my Wong Pao's delicate little system. She's highly strung, you know. I says, I'll upset his system if I catch out on it. I'll upset its bloody life. You throw a hammer at her. They used to throw the bloody hammer if it's done at they, well, it's done at me. I says, I say me, eh? I had to go hospital with his ear, you know, Owd Grandad did. Lady Constance went back one pretty fast when I got her foot out of that grid. I didn't wait for a doctor. I was more concerned about the peak. I knowed as if Owd Grandad Piggott had got out on it, I'd have killed it. I would have done, I know.